Okay, I thought I'd share a video of how to load the 5.7. This is a tricky little cartridge. Very first off, before we get started, it's really important to read your manual, know how to set up your reloaders, know how to safely do it. You're dealing with a lot of pressures, and of course with a firearm and everything that's involved there, you want to be really, really careful. The other thing that's important to know is that 5.7, the pistol, is a polymer frame. So dealing with pressures, you got to be really careful. We're putting very little amount of powder in here, and it would actually be easy to get a double charge. Most of the time when you're loading pistol or whatever, a double charge of powder won't even fit in the case. This one it will, so you need to be really careful. That said, these are some that I've reloaded right here. And what we've got, this is a match grade little 22 caliber bullet. This is a Barnes varmint grenade. This one is a ballistic tip. I believe it was a Nosler. These are some little Hornady ballistic tips. And the other thing that I've found, you want a lighter weight bullet. So typically in a 223 you're shooting about a 55 grain, 50 grain. With these you're a little bit lighter. This is a 36 grain Barnes varmint grenade, and these are 40 grain ballistic tips. So you're going to go a little bit lighter on the bullet. And then these are some factory loads. This is that Hornady one that you can buy, the full metal jacket stuff. The other thing that's interesting about this cartridge is it has a lacquer coating on the case. So this is a once fired case, and it's got the lacquer coating on it. This is a case that I've reloaded, and I've cleaned that lacquer off and polished and shot. So you can see it's a little shinier there, and typically I would tumble it so it's really bright and shiny. I'm really big about having a nice, clean, bright case. I just feel like that's the way that I want to load. I want everything clean and precise. It's really hard to clean the lacquer off. I've found that if I do an acetone bath and I let it sit for a few hours, I can come back and scrape a little bit on it and tumble it and clean it off, and I can get a bright, nice, shiny case. But the weird thing that I've found in doing that, it actually makes it harder to size, and it also causes some problems in the firearm. I would have never believed this, but I read on one forum that lacquer coating actually works in the pistol to help keep that cartridge from ejecting as fast, so that it could build up more pressure. And I never would have believed that until I did it for myself, and I started to notice I could not get the action of the pistol to come back far enough to bring that next round in. I've played around with all different pressures, all different powders, quantities, right up to the maximums, and I can't get it to cycle unless I have that lacquer coating on it, and then it runs great. So be that as it may, it's kind of weird, I know. The thing that's really tricky about this cartridge is the size process. Everything else is pretty easy, but the sizing is very difficult. This is one of my tool head stands here, and I've got it set up with the RCBS 5.7 dies. And then your shell plates, I know RCBS makes a little shell plate if you're using a rock chucker press or something like that. I had to have this made, and this is my shell plate for the Dillon press. It's a progressive press, so I have 4 different stations. I'm very big on the Dillon stuff. I love it. The thing that's tricky about this case is you're dealing with a very small shoulder. There's not a lot of brass there. And I've had an awful lot, maybe 1 out of every 12 that I load, it'll try to pull right up out of that shell case and break that brass off. And then you end up with a stuck case. Very frustrating. The way to deal with that, this is not set all the way here. The way to deal with that, if I have a stuck case in here, I can remove this portion of the stem and drive that priming pin down and force the case out. It's not an easy thing to do, and I actually have gone through a couple of those priming stems, but the loading process can be done. I'm very big on reloading exotic things, hard things, precision, and I got to tell you right now, I don't like loading the 5.7. It's a hassle. It's hard to do. Functionality, once I've done it, I've had no problems in the PS90. It seems to function great, but that little pistol is so finicky that typically I usually stay away from loading this and I buy the ammo. As far as what I've found to work the best as far as type of powder, Accurate number 5, and I use 5.6 grains of powder. And then the bullet, usually I'll either load with that little Barnes Varmint grenade, or this little Hornady 40 grain. Works really, really good. But that said, I would probably say, you know, unless you really have some reason that you want to load the 5.7, don't do it. It's a pain in the neck. Anyway, I will try to do some more fun videos and show you some more cool stuff. This being said, I love the FN products. Don't get me wrong. I love that pistol. That pistol is amazing. It's the most accurate pistol I own. And the PS90 is just fun to shoot. So don't get me wrong. It's difficult to reload, but probably some of my most favorite firearms. Anyway, I think that's it. I just wanted to kind of get that out there and let you know what I've run into. If you find something that you're able to do this and works great, let me know. Please leave me a comment. I would really be interested. I've tried everything I can think of. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Thanks much.